everyone. Welcome again to the NRC Helpful Moment. It's our 41st edition, and today we're very pleased to have a special guest from Fort Worth, Texas, Dayna Corley from Brood in Fort Worth. And always we are joined by Mr. Brian Devine, President of Top Line Management and CafeFuel. So welcome everyone. We're glad to have you. And we've got a little bit of a technical thing going on here today, but I'm going to let Brian speak directly to Dayna because I don't think she can hear me directly. But Dayna is a very accomplished businesswoman in Fort Worth, and she and her family and some other partners own and operate Brood in Fort Worth with 2 other locations. So they were able to do some reopening this past weekend. And Brian, if you would please.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Richard. Dayna, tell us, how did the reopening go? What can you tell us?
Well, we wanted to just dip our toe in the water and see how things would go because we weren't sure of the climate here in Fort Worth. And so we said we're just going to go for it. It's only 25% occupancy can be in your restaurant at one time. Mm-hmm. And so we dipped our toe in, and it was, I would say, relatively slow. There wasn't a great turnout. It was worth it as far as, the amount of money we made was not great. But our labor cost was low, so we just, changed our model of how we did things as well. So people weren't really served; they ordered at a counter, and we had a menu at the counter that they didn't have to touch, or they could scan it. We set up a QR code that they could scan and look at their menu on their devices. So that is something we may continue to use in the future. People seem to enjoy themselves that were here, but I would guess because we didn't, and we normally do a pretty successful brunch business, and that's all we opened for was brunch.
Okay.
I would say people are still a little bit reticent to come into restaurants yet.
Sure.
But those that are coming are not very diligent about sanitation and masks and all that. They're the ones that are going, oh, forget this. I'm ready to just get on with life. So really, one of the things that was interesting to see was, probably out of the 100+ people we had come in this weekend, 5 maybe wore masks. And nobody used the sanitation stations that were set up. A few of our guests, we are limited to parties of 6 or less. And so we had the tables all spaced and only the right amount of chairs out for that area. Well, people love to do what they want. So somebody pushed 2 tables together and there were 10 sitting together, and they had to be reminded that no, you got to separate.
Yeah.
So I would probably fall into that group. That's how I am anyway. So yeah, it's just interesting to see the different types of personalities and how they are handling this. So some would come in order to go still. They grab and go or order online and come get it. We used only plasticware this weekend. We were told that you had to. And so everything that came out of the kitchen was in to-go boxes and served with plasticware. So the guests, if they wanted to, could just throw their stuff away as they left the restaurant. So we just put up trash cans around. And then our employees would go around and sanitize all the tables and chairs after guests had been there. But yeah, I would say it was not a thriving weekend.
Okay.
But it was successful in the sense that we got to experience COVID rules of operating under these circumstances.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I was going to ask what you learned, and I think we've gotten that. What would you do differently? What would you kind of change based on what you just shared?
Well, we heard that other restaurants were using real plates.
Okay.
And we're going to that this weekend. I don't really think people enjoy coming into a restaurant and eating off of to go where it's not the dining experience that one wants. And I think people have had enough grab and go that they want the dining experience when they come in your restaurant. So that's definitely something that we will change. But it did help, save a dishwasher position we were paying for.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the things that we learned too is it's kind of hard to change your staff and teach
Yeah.
them new tricks. They have to get used to a new way of doing life in the restaurant world right now too. And so there's definitely leave room for that gap, that learning gap to occur. And it just takes a lot of reminding that this is what's required right now. Other things we would do differently in the future would be probably have out more signs that tell guests, just explain exactly what we're doing and with the sanitation stations, or even getting our own logoed pens where if people are going to sign something, maybe it's a pen that with our logo on it that they sign and
Yeah.
keep as sort of a marketing tool. Although it's kind of hard right now too to justify spending money on marketing when you're not making any money. So that's that might be more of a pipe dream, but it could be cool if you're in a position to do that. The other thing I would do is just prop all your doors open so people aren't having to put their hands on doors to open or
Oh,
shut, and encourage really encourage e-cards as well, and let more stuff go to electronic ordering, electronic payment, and electronic gift cards. And then if you are going to use plastic, ours was not the really hard, sturdy plasticware, and it was just pathetic. So I would invest in better plasticware if you're going to go that.
excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Dayna. I've got like a million other questions, but Richard, I'll translate. Did you have anything you wanted to ask?
No, I think that's really outstanding, Dayna. Dayna again is
Yeah.
translating. So anyway, Dayna again is one of the owners of Brood in Fort Worth. Again, locations in the Dallas area, as well as DFW. They have a location with DFW, and great people to work with. And so, Dayna Corley, thank you so much. Please
Yes.
give our best to everyone in Fort Worth and in the Metroplex. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for being here. So that's
Thank
it.
you so
Bye
much,
for now,
Dayna. I
everybody.
really
So
appreciate
thanks.
it. So hopefully you can still hear me. And I'm going to just throw in one thing because what you heard from Dayna over and over again was online ordering, digital, everything was as touchless as possible. So if you don't know how to do that, let us help you. We have the tools for you. So we want to help you set all that up and create that for your restaurant too. All right, that's it for us today. Thank you again, Dayna. Really appreciate it. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye, Dayna.